really maintains your specific branding. And I should add that everything in the platform is controlled by role-based security. So you can have people in different roles that have the ability to create and modify templates, and then maybe other people can only leverage templates to send emails, and then even that send capability can be another kind of permission. So you can have this tiered level of permission, so you're really kind of protecting your brand and image and making sure nothing goes out that doesn't meet your standards. And then also in email, we have this portfolio of content. So this is where you manage all your digital assets that go out in marketing communications. And it's very easy to upload all these and then drag and drop them into emails when you're doing that kind of creation. But let's go ahead and take a look at one particular email just so you can see a little bit about what happens in the email process. So I'm going to go over to this one email called Abandoned Cart Low Value. So this is an email that Northern Trail Outfitters sends out to its potential customers when they're browsing the website and maybe they put some items in their cart and they didn't buy it. That triggers, in the case of Northern Trail Outfitters, it triggers a journey, and part of that journey is this email that goes out. And you can see it's nicely formatted with Northern Trail Outfitters branding. They've included a coupon to encourage these people to buy. And then there's this kind of block here, which is a recommendation block. And this is the kind of dynamic content you can put into your emails. And it can really be anything. It can be based on any of the data you have on your customers. So if you, say, have a prospective student that's interested in engineering, it can be engineering targeted content. If you have an alumni that's made a certain level of donation, it could be kind of a big donor piece of content that's targeting them. So really, all this content that you see in the emails can be dynamic, and it can change based on the information you have on the people looking at the email. And one nice thing is that you can test any of these emails against your actual data at any time. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now for this particular email. I'm going to do a send preview. And I'm going to just pick a specific a group of users, for Northern Trail Outfitters. And it's going to be the people that have abandoned a cart just recently. And it's taking a second to load, but all the data, as I mentioned before, that I've got on the platform is available to do this kind of targeting. So I'm going to just pick the users that have abandoned a cart yesterday, and I'll pick that first one and generate a preview. And now this is going to actually go into the data model and pull out some information, in this case the item that they put in their cart and didn't buy, and render it. So this is how this email will look for this particular individual. And I'm going to just cycle through a couple of these so you can see this changes as I go through each of these users. It's going to change the content. So all this content can be dynamic and very targeted based on any of the data you've got on your contacts. So that's a little bit about what could go into an email, and I want to show you some of the tracking we have in the platform as well. So I've come over here to the tracking area of some of the reporting that we offer, and I'm looking at that particular abandoned cart low value email, and you can see these are the things that we track automatically for every one of these emails. So you can see the number of opens and clicks and forwards, and in the case of a retailer, conversions to buying, delivery rates, both hard bounces and soft bounces. And the other nice thing is you can actually overlay this click activity onto an image of the email itself. So this is a way you can kind of think about what content is rendering nicely. It's taking a second to load here, but you'll see an image of the email with percentages over every link there. And for whatever reason, that's not loading this second. Let's give it one more try. There we go. So we got an overlay view, and it looks like this email might have just gone out to a few people, but you can see the percentages next to each link, so you can get a feel for how the layout might be affecting where people are clicking. And you can see this email view, or you can see the actual link view as well, and see the individual links that are being sent out to. And as I mentioned, in the case of retailers, you can also track conversions, although there isn't any for this particular one, it seems like. So it's a little bit on some of the reporting, and we do offer pretty rich reporting in addition to individual email tracking. You can create reports really based on any of the data we have on our system, and that can be set up with a drag and drop interface. And one final thing I want to show you is the Journey Builder part of the platform, and this is what I mentioned earlier. This is where you create those one-to-one customer interactions. So you really create these tailored journeys around anything that's of interest to you. And it, in the case of a retailer, as I mentioned, this abandoned cart concept is very popular. Someone abandons a cart, it triggers a whole journey, which we'll take a look at in a second. There's a post-purchase journey here. For higher ed, it could be, as I mentioned, things like a prospective student filling out a form on a website that can launch a whole journey as you guide them through the process of them learning more about your university. Same thing with maybe alumni donations. When someone donates for the first time, you want to really encourage them to be part of the alumni donation community, and you can have a whole journey around that as well. And you can see these are always targeted against goals, because when we want you, when you're creating these journeys, to always have a goal in mind and see how the journeys are performing, and then tailor the journeys to get closer to your goals. So you're seeing what percentage of people are above the targets that I set, and these targets are something you configure for your own journeys to be whatever you want, and the triggers for the journeys are things you configure as well. And I'll just go click into this abandoned cart journey so you can see a little more detail. So you can see here the triggers that someone abandoned a cart, and that came from the e-commerce system. And the goal here is that Northern Trail Outfitters wants 5% of the population to make a purchase after abandoning a cart, and they have a whole journey that they set up around that. And then you can see there are previous versions of this journey that they were running, so they've been iterating on this as they've gotten more information about how this journey is performing. And you can always see the live data on how many people are in each step of your journey overlaid directly on the journey itself. So you can see the number of people that are in each path and how many people have met the goal on this step. And the decision points here are all based, again, on data that you've got inside of Marketing Cloud. So in this case, there's a decision right here. If the cart total is less than a certain amount, they're going to go down different paths. There's the high-value path and the low-value path. So these decisions at any point in the journey are based on any of the data in the Marketing Cloud, and that's what really allows you to create these one-to-one interactions that tailored to specific behaviors and real-time behaviors that you've got on people going through the journeys. So it's a quick look at Journey Builder, and then one other thing I want to show you is Social Studio, which I'd mentioned earlier, and as I said, that's the tool for publishing and engaging on social channels. So that's what we're looking at here. I've come over to the publish side of Social Studio, and you can see the calendar of all the social publications that have been scheduled and published in the past, or are scheduled to be published in the future. And you can get data on any of these things. So if I want to see, hey, how this particular Facebook post from Monday performed, I can click on it, and it's going to load that post and give me some metrics on it. So this is a kind of inflatable Volkswagen bus or something kind of promotional that Northern Trail Outfitters posted, and I can scroll down below and I can see the engagement summary. So I can see the number of likes and comments and shares and reach and a click breakdown. So you've got this information on each individual post. This, as I said, is the tool for publishing, so maybe I'll go ahead and just show you what that looks like. We can publish out to Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. I'm going to just show you what it might look like if you want to post a new tweet. I'll go ahead and do that, and this is also governed by role-based security, and you can have a number of different workspaces for your different organizations in your university or different colleges, and each one will only have permissions to publish on the handles that are authorized for them. So I've got permissions here to publish to the main Northern Trail Outfitters Twitter handle, and I can put in a message, it's a great day for hiking. And I can add media, images directly from my computer, but I can also get any of this from apps. I'm going to click into that and show you some examples. So that can be a number of third-party apps that we've got integrated here, things like TrendSpotter and Contera for trending content, Shutterstock and Getty Images for photography, or any of your own content sources as well. So here, NTO Drive is an internal system for Northern Trail Outfitters that has a lot of content, and that's plugged in here as well. So we can, through our API, integrate with any other sources of content you have. And maybe I'll just give you a quick look at what it looks like. If you want to put some Shutterstock photography in there, you can go in there and search on hiking, for example. I do that, and I come up with a bunch of images that I can use, and then I can take that and just drag those over into my post. So it's a very easy way to add content. And then in terms of publishing, you can publish immediately or at some later time, put in your own vanity link shortening URLs, and add in labels for tracking as well. And speaking of tracking, let me show you a little bit of what we track around the performance of these posts. So here I've come to the summary where I can see in aggregate how all my Facebook posts are performing and my tweets. And that's great for kind of overall feel for how they're doing. But I can go down to a more specific level as well. So if I want to know, just for my Facebook post, how each individual one is doing, I can click into that, and I can see for every post the reach, likes, shares, and comments. So you can get down to that very granular level as well. So that's a little bit on publishing, and then I just want to close by showing you the engagement piece as well. So I've clicked over to the Engage side, and this is where you can set up these topic profiles to listen to any of your individual handles on channels like Facebook and Twitter, and you can search on any kind of keywords or terms as well. And you're seeing all of this in the stream, and depending on your permissions, you'll be able to respond or not respond here. You can do all the same things you can do in the native channels. So in the case of Twitter, you can reply, retweet, send a direct message. But if I click into this particular tweet, I can see some of the more enterprise workflow functionality that we've got built into here. I can set a status, a priority. I can assign this to a particular individual, and that assignment can be automatic based on rules that you configure. I can change the sentiment and classification. And then we've also got macros to integrate with the other Salesforce clouds. So if this particular tweet is something that might be a lead, it can be sent directly to Sales Cloud, or if it's some kind of a service issue, it can be turned directly into a Salesforce case. So these are the kinds of things you can do inside of the engagement side of Social Studio, and it's very flexible. You can set up a number of tabs with different topics, different topic profiles, and that's all part of the Marketing Cloud platform. So that was the last thing I wanted to show you in my overview, and at this point I will hand it over to our next presenter.